Heracles Chariot Racing was released for the PlayStation 2 in 2007, and this is an arcade style racer that takes a lot of inspiration from the likes of Crash Team Racing, the Mario Kart series and other well-known kart games that were released on other platforms over the years. The game does offer up a lot of different game modes, from single player championship to time trials, battles, and even has support for up to 4 players through multiplayer split screen modes. And it features various different characters, all from the likes of Greek mythology, with the likes of Zeus, Poseidon, Medusa, and all of those type of characters that are familiar that you would have seen in the likes of movies and even other games. The game also gives access to 3 different cup modes with a total of 10 tracks that are spread across 5 different types of environments, and you will unlock more variations of the tracks as you complete races and complete the championships, and as long as you win races. Now, the game didn't get the greatest of reviews in the likes of the magazines and articles, and was mainly due to some of the glitchiness of the controls and even the computer AI, as a lot of these games always use the likes of rubber banding techniques. But what is very apparent about the game, as it was also created by the same developers that created a lot of other type of kart racing games, primarily even Kokoto Kart Racer, which I have done a previous video on. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description. And essentially what this game is, it is more so a reskin version of Kokoto Kart Racer, as when you're playing through the championship in different game modes, and once you're playing on a lot of the tracks, you'll find very quickly that if you've played that game, you will see that the tracks and the environments are somewhat identical. They've only just changed out certain assets and maybe a few different textures here and there, but the layouts in some of the tracks, especially on the likes of the volcano level for instance, and a couple of other places, the layout and the way the tracks are positioned are almost identical, if not the same. All they've literally done, like I mentioned, is they've just changed out a few pickups and a few different like textures. Instead of some areas where you have like long grass, instead you have like ice. So essentially it's the same game, because even the control features are very similar, although the only real difference with this is because of the width of the vehicles that you're driving, because you're driving the likes of chariots and carts. They're a lot bigger and more wider compared to Kokoto Kart Racer, as the carts can be relatively small, so they're a lot more nimble and they're easier to get round corners, whereas this game, it can be quite clunky. But you'll notice straight away when you play it how similar it is to that game. It's almost no different in a lot of ways. It's just they've just added in different characters pretty much. Now, it still doesn't really hamper the gameplay. The gameplay plays very similar to that game, and for what it is a fun title if you can overcome a lot of the challenges and even the frustrations within. The most difficult part about this game is the computer AI, because even with Kokoto Kart Racer, you can win races relatively decent enough, but this game, it definitely is a lot more difficult, because on certain tracks, no matter what you do and no matter how fast you go, you cannot win races. Even if you manage to take shortcuts, as soon as you are on the path of a shortcut, what sometimes happens is the AI gets a boost of speed, so as soon as you're coming out of the area where the shortcut was, the computer opponents are almost overtaking you, so you don't really gain an advantage at all, which can really add to the frustration. So it's easy to see why the game didn't get great reviews when it was released, and due to those reasons mainly. Now, it's not the worst racing game I've ever played personally. I do like kart racing games, and this is a decent game in its own right for what it offers, but there is a lot of frustration elements involved. But it's worthwhile for a quick playthrough, but you will have fun with this mainly on the multiplayer setting. If you have access to the 4-player multi-tap accessory and play it with your mates, that's where you're going to get the most fun out of this game. But it has decent graphics, it does have really cool textures and unique cartoony style visuals that does suit the whole style and aesthetic of the game. And if you're into these type of kart racers, it might be worth a look. You might enjoy it, but I'll let you decide that for yourself. And I would love to know what your thoughts are of Heracles Chariot Racing for the PlayStation 2 and what you think of it, if you have played it yourself, and if so, did you enjoy it or maybe not so much? Be sure to share it down in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more type of videos on the PS2, where I do provide reviews and gameplay style videos of other similar type of kart racing games that were also released on the system, then make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be updated when future videos are released. And do feel free to check around other videos on the channel, as I do provide other gameplay and review style videos looking at other similar games that were released on the PS2 back in the day. So be sure to check them out, and I will see you all over in the next one.